You have spent the arc of your career mostly entrenched in content about Japan.
Yes.
How has the content that you have been making changed over the entire career of your creator career?
Right. Okay, so I started 2011. So that's 13 years now. And I started for fun, really. Okay, look, I'll be honest. I started for fun, but I always had in my mind I wanted to make this a career. So it started off when I went to Japan for the very first time in 2011. I filmed bits and pieces of my trip, but back then vlogging wasn't really a thing. So I filmed just random snippets of my trip and I made some vlogs and they were terrible. It was just random snippets and random photos of each day of my trip. And it started off as a memory, I guess.
Without like much kind of format and
There was no format.
No,
yeah,
it's
absolutely
just,
not.
You just chuck whatever you can into.
Yeah, I privated the videos because I got copyrighted with music as well. I had no idea what I was doing. But it started off with that, but I also was doing makeup on the side. So just doing makeup videos, skincare videos, because I was interested mainly in Japanese fashion, makeup, skincare. Then I feel like it evolved over time because vlogging changed, obviously. And I remember that I did take a big risk of quitting my job, which we can get into later.
Yes, please.
And I just remember I moved to Japan for the very first time in 2015. I was on a working holiday visa for a year and a half.
The best visa you can
get,
It
was
by
amazing.
The way.
You could do whatever you want in Japan for the year and a half. And I had a good time. I did learn a lot. I can say I have a few regrets as well, which we can also get into. But yeah, it all started off because I loved Japanese culture. I was interested in Japan. I was interested in learning the language. So that's why I studied Japanese at university. And then...
Was that your major in university or?
Yeah, I did Japanese and psychology.
Nice.
And
that's a very strange mix.
Yeah, we can get into that. Yes, I jumped around a lot in university.
Well, tell me about that because I mean, Japanese and psychology aren't the first two big things that you think about when you think about creativity and vlogging and, especially the career that you have now. So what was that like?
Okay, so when I was younger, my parents always wanted me to be a doctor. I was supposed to be a doctor. That didn't happen. And when I went to university the first year, I was doing commerce and science. So I was doing commerce. I felt that actually. And then I was doing chemistry. And I realized I didn't like it. I changed to genetics, realized there's no jobs, changed to biochemistry, didn't like that. And then I remember there was one year, I was like, I just want to do something that I would enjoy because for my whole life, I was just doing whatever my parents wanted me to do. So in the end, I decided I'm going to try Japanese just for one semester because I just want to have fun, see if I like it. And I loved it. And I really wanted to change my degree, which I did do, but my parents were very against that. They were so disappointed in me when I changed.
The Asian parent thing.
Yeah, they just really wanted me to have like a normal job, normal career.
Doctor, lawyer,
etc. That clearly didn't happen because I failed physics back in high school, so I couldn't be a doctor. Then I remembered that, doing Japanese, there's not that many career options, so you needed something else. And at that time, I just remembered I chose psychology because it was easy.
Psychology was easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know if that's a flex or not, but
no, honestly, it's a lot of common sense.
Okay, right.
It was compared to chemistry, genetics, and stuff. It was easy. So yeah, I ended up choosing psychology because I just needed to graduate. And yeah, that's how I chose them.
Nice.
Because I had no choice.
Did you grow up prior to that? Did you grow up with any creative involvement? Like, did your parents grow up with anything creative? Do you remember doing like any sort of creative outlet when you're a teenager or a child or any of the younger years?
I think so. I was always more creative. So I remember when I was younger. So I was forced to learn piano.
Me
And
too.
yeah, and this is something I don't understand with Asian parents, right? They force you to learn an instrument. So I was forced to learn piano and I was good at it.
Oh,
But then
that's where we differ already.
yeah, okay. I was really good at it and I was quite passionate about it. I wanted to do music. But then as soon as things got serious, so I got a scholarship for music in high school. My parents didn't want me to take the scholarship. They were really disappointed in me. They wanted me to get the academic scholarship, not the music one. So so I did not take the scholarship for high school, but then I mentioned how I failed physics, right? In Australia at that time, for the high school exams, you had to do certain subjects from each sort of category, and music was in the same category as physics for some reason. And that was the only choice I had left to graduate from high school. So I did music and I was so passionate about it. And I was thinking, maybe I can do this as a career. My parents were like, no, absolutely not. So I was forced to quit.
Dang.
Yeah. So
That
I
sucks.
started with that. And then I did photography as well, but it was more for fun.
Mhm.
I started off, 2008. That's how many years is that?
A lot.
A lot, yeah.
You know, Asians
Yeah.
supposed to be good at math, but
Yeah, I can't write. I was good at
15 years.
calculus, not anymore. But I started off with photography because I was inspired with my friends. And I just remember, I was always into this creative field, but I was never able to make it a full-time job. And I was focused on trying to graduate university to get a normal job like what my parents wanted.
Right. So is that experience, do you think, the kind of catalyst for jumping into YouTube and doing vlogs and building up your YouTube career in that way? Or what happened in your life that kind of sparked that transition?
Back then, I remember this. Back then, I started watching makeup tutorials on YouTube because I didn't know how to do my makeup. And I was watching the OGs, Michelle Phan, Bob's Beauty. I was so inspired by them. And I really wanted to make my own makeup videos at that time because I saw it as it was a creative way to make content. So before I was doing photography, and that was a creative way for me to, I guess, show off content. So that was an outlet to show my creativity. And I wanted something different because at that time, there were so many people studying photography and competition got really tough. So I remembered that I was doing school balls. I was doing like random like photo shoots for models. I was doing weddings as well. And
What year range was this?
2008 till 2009-ish.
Okay.
So I was like 18 years old at this time doing all this. And there was just too much competition. So I decided to jump to YouTube. So I made my first video, I believe, in 2010. And it was a makeup video, which is not there anymore. You won't be able to find it. Deleted all that.
Damn.
It was embarrassing. It was.
I always love going to see like people's first few videos.
Oh, it was
whatever.
terrible. I deleted most of them. I was very embarrassed about my voice. So
that's a really common hang up, actually. I hear that a lot from people about them being the sound of your own voice.
Yeah. It takes a while to get used to. But what I used to do, this sounds really stupid, but I was so embarrassed about how my voice sounded. I used to put music on top and make it really loud so you couldn't hear me.
But then you can't hear you.
Yeah, exactly. Like I used to do that. So I jumped to YouTube mainly because there was too much competition in photography. And I felt that at that time, not many people were doing it. And it was a chance for me to perhaps make this a career.
So then from there, you really took your makeup content and then like kind of formed it into something else.
Yeah.
You know, I look at your main account now, especially in the previous years, you've got this like, I would say it's probably like a fairly unique blend of like makeup and like fashion and, you know, also Japan.
Yeah.
Which
honestly, my channel was a mess. I had no idea what was going on because there was just makeup, fashion, Japan, like just, I didn't know how to kind of blend it all together because the channel was just about me and what I liked. And yeah, I just felt that was really difficult for one to try and make everything sort of fit with I found it difficult to make that suit my audience because people would subscribe for makeup or skincare or Japan. And it was just
Like
kind of
YouTube
messy.
doesn't know
No.
which audience is which, especially at that time anyway.
Yeah, at that time. So I decided to make a second channel because of that. So I decided, so my two channels, the main channel and the vlog channel. The vlog channel is more chilled out, it's my everyday life. The main channel is more the professional sort of videos where I give more advice. So the makeup videos, skincare videos is advice on how to make your skin better, for example, what products you should use. And then the Japan videos is more of like what you should do when you travel to Japan. Here are some tips. This can help you out with your travels. And the vlog channel is just whatever I want to post.
In today's world, especially with cameras on our phones that we carry around with us 24/7, everyone takes photos, but that doesn't mean that everyone is a photographer. There is a difference between taking quick snapshots of your lunch and intentionally using photographic techniques to craft an image that could be art. And if you are looking at picking up the art and the craft of photography in the pursuit of mastery as quickly as possible, then maybe you might find this interesting. So I've spent well over 10,000 hours in dozens and dozens of different countries all across the world, all in the pursuit of taking world-class images that stand the test of time. And as a Sony digital imaging ambassador, I've condensed down everything that I know, all of the techniques, all of the tips, all of the tricks, and structured them into 2 courses for beginner photographers that, as many of my students have said, have drastically accelerated their learning. And for many of them, just after a single month after doing my courses provides most of them with the confidence and the technical ability to use a camera, to also intentionally compose images and to start to create a visual aesthetic, and also, of course, creating a style when editing photos. So if that sounds interesting to you, then check out my 30-day photography fundamentals course and my Lightroom editing masterclass over at patk.com/courses. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Now, back to the episode. Would you say, going back to when you were kind of like confused about what direction to have the channel head in, how long did that kind of take for you to figure and sort all that out? Because I imagine it's quite similar in terms of the journey that other people go through. Everyone has so many different hobbies and interests and just general things that they want to put on their own channels, but there's always the notion of feeding the algorithm and feeding your audience and being, I guess, aligned with what you make. So how long did that kind of take you?
I would say 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
8 years.
Long journey.
Before I used to post whatever I wanted. And yeah, it took me about 8 years to really figure out what content I wanted to make. And in the end, I remembered, I think this is maybe like 2016, 2017. I realized I want to make content that can help others out, that gives them something to take away from. Because before I was just posting because I just felt like posting. But now if I upload a video, there's a reason why I'm uploading this video.
What inspired you to make that switch?
I think, so I actually took an 8-month break in 2022. So just recently.
I remember that. I was going to ask you about this later.
Yes. So I took a long break. I'll be honest, I was pretty depressed around that time. It was during Corona, so everyone was, like that. I didn't know where I was going. I wanted to travel to Japan because I had all of these plans on like these videos I wanted to make, but obviously borders were closed, so we couldn't travel. So I just remember at that time, because we were talking about this, we were going to move to Japan at the same time, right? So I was waiting for my visa, and when I'm waiting, I don't deal well when things are uncertain. So I wasn't sure if I was going to get the visa or not. So I wasn't dealing well with that. So I decided to just stop YouTube, take a break, because if I didn't take a break, I knew that I would probably get to the point where I would never make videos ever again. So I decided to just take a break to really figure out what I wanted to do. And it really did help, I think, because I realized I want to make content that helps others out. I want to make content that is useful for people. So when they, for example, if you travel to Japan, where can you go? Or if you have the skin problem, how can you fix it? Stuff like that. So yeah, it did take me a long time to figure that out.
As it does for everyone,
Yeah.
everyone is definitely in the same boat in that regard. What about, so early on in your YouTube career, how did you get signals from your audience, from the algorithm, from whoever? How did you get the signals and the confidence to know that makeup and then later on Japan and tourism and that kind of thing were the right things to be doing on the platform?
I think for me, it made a huge difference when people recognized me in real life. And they would come up to me and say, this video helped me so much. This video helped me. And that's what made me realize, oh, my videos are actually making an impact on people. It's actually helping them out. And yeah, I've had so many people come up to me saying that they were going to Japan. And at that time, there weren't that many Japan videos like there are now. And people would say, you just really helped us plan our trip. And that just made me feel, oh, okay, so this is what I want to do because it's actually helping people out.
Right. And I think you've been, so I did a little bit of research digging because we've known each other for a little while.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever learned this side about you until recently when I tried to find out a little bit more about you and your backstory. But you ran a blog.
Oh yeah. Yes,
So,
I did.
I've always wondered, your Instagram is Kim Dao blog.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered why the blog at the end. So tell me about that.
I wanted Kim Dao, and
Okay.
some person's taking it.
I mean, it's a pretty common name.
I've tried to get that name, but I couldn't. I've contacted Instagram, and they tried, but they said because that account's in use, I cannot take that. So I just added the blog towards the end at that time. I used the blog, and once again, it was a diary for me to remember my trip to Japan. So maybe if you look way back, I think in 2011, I was posting all of these things about Japan, what I did during that day, and had photos and stuff. So it was, just a diary for me to remember my trip because that trip was so memorable to me and I never wanted to forget it. That's why I did that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so is that like, would you say that was like the start of your content journey? Because you did the blog before you started YouTube, right?
I think I did.
Yeah?
Yeah, I
Something
think
like that.
so. So I remember at that time when I went to Japan for the first time, I just remembered saying to myself, I would love it if I can travel to Japan every year and make content. That was my dream. And it sort of happened. So I would travel to Japan multiple times a year. I didn't think it was going to happen, to be honest, because at that time I was a poor uni student, but it happened. I made it work.
Nice.
And
So from there, there's, it's such a long journey that you've had. I think out of most of the creators that I know, your journey is probably the longest.
Oh, really?
That I know of anyway, because I mean, you've been doing it well over 10 years now.
Yeah.
As a hardcore content creator, full-time kind of situation.
Yeah.
Did you ever have any previous jobs or careers or anything like that, or did you literally just go straight from uni into this?
No, I did have a job. So I graduated uni, got a normal job. I was a marketing manager at an IT company, and I lasted about 4 months.
Okay.
I quit really quickly because I realized this was not what I wanted to do. And I just remember at that time, I would go to work. It was just a 9 to 5, go to work, go back home and film, edit. I just wasn't sleeping. So my passion was creating content, but that wasn't making me enough money. So I had to work on the side. So I had the full-time job, go home, create content. And it was too stressful. I just had no time to myself. I made so many sacrifices that I knew I couldn't work this full-time job. So I quit. And prior to this, I was working at Cotton On. I went back to Cotton On.
Okay. Retail.
Yeah, I actually went back. I spoke to my manager at the time and I was like, can I just have my job back? And people might think, why would you do that? Because you had a full-time job. And my parents were like, why? Like, why? I was so much happier working at Cotton On than at my full-time job. And it's because when I was at Cotton On, it gave me time to create content at the same time because it was just casual and you got paid pretty well. So yeah, I was at Cotton On for about 5 years. Then I quit and moved to Japan.
Right. So really Cotton On was like the basis of your content journey.
Yes.
Really. It was the thing bankrolling your transition into content full time.
Yes, it was Cotton On. Like people didn't know, or people don't know about this, but obviously when you're starting out, you just don't make money. So I remember my very first paycheck on YouTube, I made 28 cents.
Sweet.
Yeah. And then after that, the month after it was like 50 cents or something like that. I was making like just a couple of dollars every month. But at that time, I was so happy about it. I was like, look, I'm making something. So that motivated me to keep growing. But when I was working at Cotton On, I think on YouTube, I was making maybe $200 a month. So still wasn't enough to survive, of course. So throughout my uni years, I was just working casually. I'll be honest, Cotton On paid pretty well.
I mean, as a casual employee, you would always get more. I remember I used to work retail as well.
Yeah.
So I worked for JB Hi-Fi as the games department manager for like 4 years, 3 or 4 years or something like that. And, you know, I remember like seeing the rates that my staff that I would have to hire, like the casuals that I would have to hire. I'm like, oh, you guys are getting paid like pretty good money for like, you know, being teenagers or like, you know, young adults and all that kind of stuff, as well as all the time freedom and all the rest of it. So it's like, it's good. I think
it was amazing.
It's so incredibly underrated having a job that allows you the financial flexibility and the time flexibility to then go and do whatever you really do want to do in your spare time.
Yeah. And there's something that I really wanted to mention as well, because when I first started at Cotton On, right, I was shy. I was so shy. I was nervous. I didn't want to talk to customers. So I wasn't getting any shifts because I'm a casual. Legally, I think you only have to work 3 hours every 2 weeks, something like that. So I was getting just 3 hours every 2 weeks. It doesn't make enough money.
No, it's nothing.
So I knew I had to change my personality if I wanted to get more shifts. And that's why I changed. So it took time, but I became more confident working in retail because, you know, you deal with customers and I slowly turned into an angry motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah, it was a slow transition, but
your Vietnamese background coming out.
Yeah, people were stealing all the time and it just frustrated me so much. So I used to be the one that would confront people that would shoplift.
Right.
I would chase them out of the store and everything, yell at them. That's what gave me more confidence.
Right.
And I just remember that at that time, I really wanted this so bad. I wanted to make this work really badly, but I needed Cotton On to make the money to fund my lifestyle. And I never talked about it online because I just felt like it was boring. No one cares about that. I'm just working retail.
It's also the kind of like grind that is like completely unsexy and like, you know, very, very salt of the earth to talk about kind of thing.
So I never spoke about this. So people online would think, oh, Kim's living like the life.
Yeah.
But no, behind the scenes, I'm just at work yelling at customers. And
I actually think that is the story that most content creators will actually go through. I think there is a stigma that like, you know, if you suddenly strike it with a big audience and like go viral on social media or something like that, that you suddenly just earn a bunch of money. Like somehow magically it just appears and then you're off to the races and like you're set for life. But that's so not how it goes.
No, definitely not. Like maybe temporarily, but of course that's not going to last forever. And I was always aware of that. So I knew it was a big risk to quit Cotton On, move to Japan, because it was, I would say it was a very safe lifestyle I was living at that time. But I think for me, I really wanted to take that jump. My dream was to live in Japan just once. That was my dream at that time. And Cotton On helped fund that.
Nice. I love that story. I really enjoy. Okay, I'm gonna call someone out here. But because I actually really want him to come on the podcast one day. But do you remember Andy?
Yes.
Andy Escape. Yeah.
Yes, I do.
So our friend Andy came to Japan not long ago, and he asked me for advice about like transitioning to full time and doing content full time. And we sat in this very space and we brainstormed for like 3 hours, 4 hours about the trajectory he could take and like what paths he could do and what moves he could make and all this kind of stuff. And he had this ambition to go full time. He has a very cushy job.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Software engineer, earns a bunch of money, has a bunch of time to go and do his content as well. He's also very vocal about it, which is a very interesting thing as well. And he bet Steph, my girlfriend, to race for who could go full time first, and he lost.
Yeah.
I
told him though, like he mentioned the same thing to me, but I told him you can quit now.
Yeah. Especially like because he has such an amazing job that gives him such a fantastic platform to be able to make the jump.
Yes.
I think it does take a certain mindset switch to go from, something cushy, something that's funding your potential journey to actually making the jump.
Yes.
I think that is such a hard thing to do. And, it is, you really do have to like mentally make that. So Andy, I'm calling you out. You have to make this jump.
Another thing I want to say is, I won't go into specifics, but Andy, you told me how much you were making. I was making way less than you and I quit.
Yeah.
Way less.
And that's the thing, right? Like when you're making a lot of money, it's I remember, so for me, when I made my jump, I was making very high 6-figure salary. And it's so hard to like leave the comfort of your lifestyle when you earn that much.
Yeah.
Because you're going from like extreme comfort to like extreme poverty.
Yeah, I get it. Oh, I mean, okay, I wasn't making like extreme, like 6 figures or anything. But let's just say like if I worked on a weekend, on a Sunday, I got $40 an hour. If I worked on a public holiday, $50 an hour.
Like $50.
It was amazing. I worked every Sunday. So,
time and a half, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, 8 hours, $50, about $400 just for one day of work. And Sunday was quiet. I loved it.
The best.
I wasn't making like super bank, but it was like
enough to survive.
Yeah, it was great. But then at that time, I remembered when I quit everything and moved to Japan, on YouTube, I was making around $700 to $800 a month.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So, you had a part-time job.
Yes.
A casual job, and then you were doing YouTube at night, right?
Yes.
So effectively you're working, I don't know, like 80 hours a week.
Crazy hours, yeah.
Crazy hours a week because
Yep.
I remember this as well. Like I before I became a content creator, I had, multiple businesses and I would, go and do my full-time job and then work on my business all the other periods of time, before work, after work, whatever. So it requires a tremendous amount of sacrifice, both financially and from a time perspective. Like, walk me through the process of, cutting down all of your money and your time and then moving to Japan and that transitional period, because you are going from, again, kind of somewhat comfortable in terms of financial safety to $700 a month, which is like barely enough to pay rent.
Yep.
Like, talk me through that transition period.
Okay. So I never really mentioned this because, I lived in poverty when I was in Japan. So in Australia, I was making like pretty decent money and I was living at home at that time. And yeah, it was fine because I always had a home. But then at that time, my now husband at that time, Eric, and we decided to purchase an apartment. This is back in, I think like 2015 was when we purchased it. So we put down a down payment together. And I just knew in the back of my head, because we bought it off the plan, I had to make enough money so I can pay a mortgage. So that was a lot of stress on me.
Mm.
So I had savings when I moved to Japan. And I believe at that time, I think I had about 35 grand to 40 grand saved. But I always knew, I was like, okay, this is not enough because I have a mortgage coming up in a few years' time. I need to save up. That was going in my mind at the time. So I had like enough money to survive in Japan for a long time. I could have rented an apartment in like, Roppongi if I really wanted to because I had the savings. I didn't. I was living all the way out in Fuchu. And this is super
That's pretty
far.
far from Tokyo. Yeah,
And
from central Tokyo.
yeah, at the time my rent was, actually it wasn't that cheap because I just rented an apartment that was for foreigners. So obviously they were charging a bit more and it was furnished. So I was paying about $800 a month for rent at that time. And
you're only making $700 on YouTube?
Yeah, I was not making enough to pay rent. So I was digging into my savings. And this stressed me out so much.
Could imagine.
So I had a number. And the number was like, I think 30 grand. If I went under that, I would freak out. So my fear in life is just running out of money. So if I just went under, just like if I had 29 grand, I would freak out and think it's the end of the world. So I would do extreme things like I would cook pasta and eat that for the whole week. I would only go to the supermarket after 8 p.m. because bento boxes were cheaper. I would only spend up to 1,000 yen per meal. If I spent over, I would be so upset at myself. If someone owed me 100 yen and didn't pay me back, that would ruin my day.
100 yen is like less than $1.
Yeah, less than $1. That would ruin my day. I was just so scared about running out of money, even though I had money. So after that, I moved into another apartment in Japan, and it was actually a 2-bedroom, $800 for a 2-bedroom. So I shared with a housemate. So it was $400 a month. Super cheap, but I still lived the same way. I honestly acted like I had no money. That's how I was because I was so scared of running out.
But would it be fair to say that you had the confidence to move to Japan because you had that 30 grand in savings?
No, I feel like that. It kind of had nothing to do with that.
What gave you the confidence to transition over then?
Yeah, good question. But it was
just like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it.
It was just like, fuck it, yeah. It was just something I wanted to do because I wanted to live in Japan. So, okay, back then, I really wanted to live in Japan just once. That was my dream. But I knew that if I wanted to do it, I had to do it now. And at that time, my partner, well, now husband, Eric, he said, if you want to go, then you should go now because you just quit your job. You're just working at Cotton On. You can go now. Like, you're not really taking that much risk. And look, you just go for a year and then come back. And then, we can move into our apartment together. That's the plan. So I was like, okay, look, like he was really supportive of me moving to Japan for a year.
And so just for context, this is you moving to Japan by yourself while he is still in Australia.
Yes. So he was still a student in Australia. He knew, well, at that time, he thought, I can never move to Japan because of what I do. So I'm going to stay in Australia. You go to Japan, do your thing. It's your dream. Go and chase that and then come back to Australia. So that was always in my head. Okay, I'm going to go for 1 year only, come back to Australia and settle down.
Right. That's a very, how do I even put this? Very slapstick together approach from like what I would do. Yeah. I am the kind of person who would, actually slapstick is the wrong word, but it is more like less prepared and very courageous in that way. I look up to that because I'm the kind of person who has to like cross every T and dot every I and like plan everything before I'm able to like have the confidence to make a jump like that. And that was exactly the case with me moving to Japan. Like I made sure all of the things were moved and lined up and and then I was like, good. Yeah. So I admire you for being able to be like, okay, I'm just gonna get up and go.
It was pretty much that. I feel like that's part of my ADHD. I'm just like, yep, I'm going by. Like it was just, okay, it wasn't a spontaneous decision because I wanted to do it for so long. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going.
Just do it.
I just needed to go and that's why I did it. And I came with no plan. I had no friends. I had no job. I came with nothing.
So how did you, aside from eating pasta for the week, like how did you survive? Like what did your typical days look like? And especially with not having a lot of income coming in, as well as you starting YouTube and going on that whole journey, what did your typical days look like in that way?
So at that time, I remembered that I would get about one sponsor a month, and that would pay, I don't know, like maybe 2 to 3 grand extra. So then if I was able to get a sponsor a month, that was okay, because then that would push me to like maybe 2.8 to 3 grand-ish. So I was very lucky that I was able to do that for most months. But also when I moved here, in my mind, I was like, I'm just going to say yes to everything and maybe it will work out. So every single person that wanted to be friends with me, I said yes. Every single job that came my way, I said yes. Yeah, I just said yes to everything, even if I had to get out of my comfort zone. So for example, I did like a panel in Japanese, which is way out of my comfort zone, but I did it because I wanted the money. And also I just wanted to get out of my comfort zone that year. I needed to just try and learn new skills. So I did that. I also went on a Japanese TV show, which was extremely cringe.
Is it on your YouTube? Can I see?
No, it's not on my YouTube. It's long gone. It was so cringe, but the money was good.
Okay. No, you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah, I did it. Yeah, the money was not bad. I remember if you just did one episode, they'll pay you like $500.
Wow.
So not bad.
Cool.
And I used to do it every 2 weeks or so. I also taught English on the side. And actually I enjoyed that. So I know a lot of people don't have good experiences teaching English. I did. Like my school was amazing. They were more of like it was more of a cram school. And I just played with kids and got paid like, I think 2,500-ish yen an hour. It's not bad.
Okay. Yeah, that's all right.
Not bad.
Yeah.
It was the easiest job ever.
That's like cotton on money, man.
That's
all right.
It was the easiest job ever. The boss was so cool. Like he would actually help me out. He helped me move and everything. He had a massive van. So
that's cool.
It was great. Yeah, I managed to make it work because I took all of these random jobs here and there.
Right. What kind of content were you making at that time then? And like how did your lifestyle change between then and when you were working at Cotton On?
At that time, I was making just random Japan vlogs. Honestly, it was shit. I don't know why people were watching my videos at that time. I was going to the Pokemon Center every day, filming the same thing every day, and people were watching, and I don't understand why.
This is main channel stuff, right?
No, this is my second channel.
Second channel stuff, okay.
And I just remember at that time because I was trying to make it work. I wanted more views. I wanted more followers. So I would do whatever would, get me the views and followers.
Yep.
And shopping videos were the ones that were getting the views. So I kept doing them. Yeah, I just kept doing them because I was going to the Pokemon Center, like just Shibuya 109, shopping for clothes. People loved that. But then when I posted videos about the countryside in Japan, no one cared. No one watched these videos. So that's why I stuck to making shopping videos because that was what got me views. And then people started trying to call me out on this, saying, oh, Kim only shops. But it's like those were the ones that were getting views. I was making, travel videos in the countryside. No one watched. So to me, it just made sense to make videos that people wanted to watch, right?
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, for a lot of people, a lot of people don't even bother to experiment with different formats and different styles and themes and that kind of stuff and see, just try to see what works. But like if you're playing the game to win, like you can't not pay attention to what works and just doubling down on that. I totally get it.
Yeah. So I was making all these shopping videos. In reality, I hate shopping. I can't stand it.
So how long did it take for your soul to be completely drained from your body?
That would be about 2 to 3 years. Yeah. I hated doing it, but I had to pretend I loved it because that's what other people wanted to see.
Right.
And I would pretend that, I love shopping. This is my lifestyle. This is my life. This is what I do every day. It's really not. I hate it so much. So especially if you have, if you have been to Japan, have been to Shibuya 109, there's blaring music, people are shouting, there's lights. For someone with ADHD, it's the worst nightmare. I was so angry when making these videos. Like at that time, I didn't know, but I was fuming the whole time in Japan because of all these, things coming at me. I didn't understand why I was overstimulated.
Yeah, I mean, it's Shibuya. It's Tokyo. It's sensory overload
Yes.
every day, all day,
Yes.
all the things.
So I was angry, but I had to do what I had to do
Right.
to
So
make it work.
what got you through this time? Because as a creator who has done it for, many years, any creator who kind of makes content with the purpose of winning, with the purpose of playing the game, it's hard, man. Like, especially when you're not making things that you truly enjoy.
Yep.
So what was your motivation for pushing through that period of time, doing things that you don't want to do?
Money.
Right.
Yeah. I was making a lot of money, but I wasn't happy. And I can admit, when I was making the most money, when I was growing the fastest, getting the most views, I was the most depressed. Yeah.
That's a lesson for all y'all out there.
Yeah. I was pretending I was living the life. I don't know, at that time, I just remember I was trying to pretend that I was happy on Instagram, especially. So I'll be like posting all these things. Oh, I'm so happy at this event. Oh, look at my new bag I got. I'm so happy. I wasn't. I was just pretending because I felt like that was the image I had to put out. And behind the scenes, I was just like wrapped up in bed, like not wanting to wake up in the morning. I was just at home playing games all the time, like just, And what really, so I was going hard at it for so long, but I was kind of forced to stop because of COVID.
Right. I see.
Yeah.
Do you think if COVID didn't happen, you would continue to be this way or along the same or similar path?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah. I would have continued. I had all these plans for 2020. I had all these jobs lined up, lost everything. And that's what, in a way, I'm grateful COVID happened, not because of what happened, but because of what it did to me.
It was very transformative for a lot of people.
Yeah. I had time to myself to think about what I really wanted to do. Because I was making content I did not want to make. And that was the issue. But I didn't realize it at the time because in my mind, I was like, the more money I make, the happier I'll be, which was not true.
Right. And so, you have, 700 and something subscribers on your main channel at the moment, 780 or something like that.
Yeah.
A lot of that, or a lot of those people are people who have subscribed because of your previous content, because of your makeup content and because of, whatever you were doing previously. So what are your thoughts on, maybe kickstarting it is the wrong word, but I think there is a period of time where, your audience knows you for something. And when you don't deliver that, they kind of don't come. And YouTube is very much like that. And that's part of the reasons why, I am fully aware that doing this podcast on my own channel after doing a photography thing for so long is going to be a kick to the balls in terms of views and all the rest of it. But what are your kind of views on the future of your growth for your channel, your main channel, that is?
Yeah, about that. I feel, to be honest, now I'm making content because I want to make it. I can say I'm in a very privileged position where I don't need the money right now. So I don't feel that I have to upload content to get views, to get subscribers. When I upload a video, I don't look at the stats. I just don't care because I enjoyed making that video and I know this video is going to help someone else. And that is what matters most to me right now. So even if I upload a video and I know it's not going to grow my subscribers, I know it's not going to get views, it doesn't matter because I feel like this video can help someone else out. And even if it just helps one person out, that's all that matters to me right now.
If you're a photographer visiting Japan, you probably want all of the most visually attractive, stunning spots to go to and photograph. And in Japan, there is most certainly no shortage of that. That is why I have been coming back to Japan nonstop since 2016 and eventually decided to also move here. But as an English speaker, finding all of the good spots is hard. And doing all of the research on how to get there, in what season, with what gear, and all of the other nuances and considerations that lead to a great image is tiring and time-consuming. So I've made it easy for you. My photography guides to Japan and Tokyo are the best-selling photography guides on the internet. And I've been doing this for many, many years. And in them, I show off all of the best spots this country has to offer and how to capture them, saving you time, money, and stress, and simplifying the planning process, enabling you to have a better time here. So if that sounds interesting, then head on over to pack.com/Japan guide to check out my photography guides to Japan and Tokyo. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Now back to the episode. So what kind of videos will we be seeing from your main channel in the future? Like where do you want, like tactically, where do you want to head with the videos that help people in the future?
I think because now I'm living in Japan, I really want to focus more on Japan travel and food. So I get asked this question all the time. If I come to Tokyo, where should I eat? There's like thousands of restaurants out there. So I kind of started doing this, but then I kind of slowed down on it. Like a series where I just show different restaurants. I feel like I've been having a lot of trouble recently creating content just because my mind is always off on something else. And because YouTube's not my priority anymore, that's why I haven't been uploading as much. And yeah, so that's been a bit difficult on my end for that. But yeah, I really want to focus on Japan travel content that can help others. So yeah, like more food videos, travel videos. And I'm hoping to get back into makeup because I have not uploaded a makeup video in maybe 2 years and people have been asking. And I really want to get back into that.
Right. So you mentioned that YouTube's not your priority. And you also mentioned that, you are in the position where financially you're quite okay. And you're able to support yourself and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How are you doing that in your current realm of creatorship and your business as a creator? How do you make money from day to day, and how do you survive on your own?
Gaming.
Okay. Tell me more.
Yeah. So I've always been a huge gamer. And yeah, when I play a game, because of my ADHD, I won't just play the game. I will complete it to the point where it's completely done. So for example, Pokemon, right? You go fight all the gyms, you fight the Elite Four, that's it. But that's not the end for me. I will go and catch every single Pokemon in the PC. It's from the number, like the Pokemon number, I will have it all in order. It's like Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, just every, I was like that.
You were the completionist,
yes,
platinum trophy,
yes,
all the things every time.
Everything. Zelda, Breath of the Wild, I collected all those damn Koroxis. That took me so long.
I've done that too.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, a lot of time. Yeah, stuff like that. So I've always been into games, and during COVID, Genshin Impact came out.
We've had very long chats about this. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I don't want to talk about how much I spent on that game, but it was something that I just love this game so much. So I remember I started playing this game because one of my friends told me this game is like Zelda but better, and I was like, bullshit. There's no way. So I tried it, and I was like, oh, actually, it's pretty good. And there's a lot of chests in this game. And I was like,
treasure chests.
Yeah, treasure chests. Yes. So you go around collecting them. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can collect. And me, being the person that wants to collect everything, I was like, no one is making videos on how to get every single chest in the game. So how about I do it? So I decided to do it. And I started this in, I believe, December 2020. And you know the amount of chests in the game, right? There's a lot.
Crazy amount.
Lot.
Genshin Impact is the hugest game ever.
It's open world. There's so many chests hidden and stuff.
No, if you guys haven't played Genshin Impact, it's just imagine every Zelda map, Breath of the Wild in terms of scale and size, and then just 5 more of those. Yeah, it's a huge map, but the game is just, to me, it was so beautiful. The music was beautiful. The characters were, and I just loved it. So I decided to make these chess videos, and okay, I spent about 1 month filming these videos. So I actually took a break on YouTube because I had no time to do anything else. I filmed for 1 month, just filming these chests, and I had to make multiple accounts because sometimes I would screw up. I'd be like, no, I have to film that part again. Log into another account. I had 5 Genshin accounts doing this. And then after that was the editing.
And oh my gosh, the editing took another month, I believe, or 2. I put in so much effort into these chess videos. And I think in the end, I made about like $10.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like,
that's a very common story for
Yeah.
most YouTubers.
I made about $10 and I was like, I was putting all this effort in. Is this really worth it? But in my mind, okay, I actually had a lot of fun doing it. But I knew these videos were high quality enough that one day they will get picked up because I put in so much effort into this video. And it did get picked up. It took a long time. It took 6 months. When Inazuma came out, that's when it got like, you know, kind of blew up. And yeah, like I can say that now I don't upload very often on that channel. It's whenever there's a new map update. But even if I don't upload, I will still make money on that channel. And it's enough for me to live.
Wow, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Do
like,
you mind
crazy.
telling me how much you make on that gaming channel?
So if I don't, so it depends, right? On how much I upload. So if I don't upload at all, no uploads, maybe at least
Give me a range.
4 or 5 grand
A month.
Yeah.
That's
without uploading.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a full-time person's salary.
Yeah. And I understand I'm in a very privileged position because I've got that. But
you worked
it was
for
a lot of work. It was
you worked for it.
I didn't sleep for days because of that.
And just to add to that, like I think there's something to be said about spending 8 years plus on YouTube up until this point to know how to film something and know how to structure it and make it high quality so that it does eventually pop off.
Yes.
And all that kind of stuff. I don't think a lot of people appreciate how much time and dedication that actual whole process actually is.
Yeah. So now I only update that channel if there's a new map update. But when that update comes out, I don't sleep. I'm like filming like for days straight. I tell my friends, do not message me. I will not respond.
I remember when the last update came out, I like was trying to get you out to do some shoots and stuff, and you're like, "Nah, I'm playing Genshin."
I'm sorry. I would not go out. I will be stuck at home filming, editing. I'm going hard at it. But in my mind, usually a new map comes out every 12 weeks or so. If I just work 1 week for 12 weeks, if I work just 1 week every 12 weeks, then that's just gonna, that's it.
That's it.
And that's why I do it. Like I still love the game. I play it every day still, even if I'm not filming it. I love the game. I love making the videos, even if it's a lot of hard work. I actually do love it. And yeah, I'm just grateful that I can, make a living off Genshin.
It's a certain...
Thank you, Hoyoverse.
Certainly a contrast from making makeup videos and stuff that you don't typically like to do, and like fashion stuff and things that you've really grinded for in the beginning.
Yeah.
How much, just coming back to the financial side of things, how much would you make on like a really big release, for example, like after some big patch comes out and then you've made a whole bunch of like
it depends.
Like give me the upper and lower ranges between
about 8 to could be like 8 to 10-ish grand a month. It really depends on like the views,
like the view
and,
count and all that kind of stuff. But it's crazy because like you see channels that are so peaky in how much revenue they make.
Yeah.
Especially when they are very tied to seasonal things, seasonal content. And this is the whole like discussion about like evergreen content versus, trending content or seasonal content or whatever you want to call it. And it's crazy that you've found something that gives you such immense pleasure, but also such immense financial stability.
Yeah. Like it's honestly amazing, but if Genshin
ever dies,
then I'm screwed. And I know that is, something that I worry about. I don't think it's going to die anytime soon. It's still huge.
Yeah.
But there's a chance.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm still looking.
What's plan B? What happens? So like hypothetically, let's play this scenario out, because I think this is useful for other people who might be in this situation as well. Say Genshin stops releasing patches in the next 6 months.
Yep.
What is the next step as a creator for you in that instance? How would you make money to survive as a creator?
So I thought about this a lot. There's a few new games that's coming out that's, got potential. So I'm thinking about expanding to other games, not just Genshin. So there's a game that's coming out. I can't remember what the name is. I think I sent it to you ages ago. It's by Kuro Games. There's a new one that's like a copy of Genshin, pretty much.
Oh, yes. I remember you sending it to me, but I forget the name as
so
well.
there's this one game that's coming out, I think next month. So I'm going to try and get onto that. Fingers crossed there's chests to do and that was something to do in that game.
Something to find and
something
and do
to
videos
find.
on.
Yeah, so I think I just have to find other games and that's my plan for now.
Right.
Hoping that I can find that other game.
So you're going to keep on the gaming
I think so.
path.
Yes, I think so.
I mean, I don't blame you because like gaming is just, it's a monster, man.
I love it. Like to me, it's just so fun.
Yeah. Like,
and this is what I love.
Like both you and I like know how much we both love gaming and how big of a thing it's been in both of our lives.
Yes.
But it's crazy, like the amount of traction and popularity that it has on the platform. I 100% don't blame you for doing that.
I think for me, when we were playing so much Genshin, I was thinking, how can I make money out of this? I'm spending so much time on this. I should be trying to think of ways to make money out of this. And that's why I decided to make those chess videos as well.
You can expense all of your
I should
your
be doing
gacha
that.
rolls.
I didn't do that.
You should, because that's you making money.
Oh, I really should have.
You should have.
I didn't do that.
We've spent thousands of dollars on that game, like literally thousands.
Tens of thousands probably.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
It's so embarrassing.
And it is like it's a crazy thing, but like you should be expensing that.
I really should, yeah. I mean, I don't spend that much now because we used to back then.
Yeah,
now I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm over. I'm better than that now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I was bad back then.
Did you get on the creator program with them recently?
Yeah, but then you have to like keep applying. Like you have to keep applying every month, and I just couldn't be bothered.
Okay,
yeah. But I am part of it, yes. But I think for me, I just really enjoyed making those videos.
Yeah. I'm glad you found something that you really enjoy doing. I also noticed that you are uploading quite regularly on your vlog account.
Yes.
You are honestly, probably single-handedly, like you are the reason why I decided to make a vlog channel separately for myself. I mean, obviously there are a whole bunch of other calculated things about the algorithm, audience, and blah, blah, blah. But, there are so many people. There's so much misinformation is not the right word. It's more like different perspectives that people have about splitting audiences and what to do and making new channels or keeping it all on the one channel and then, doing all this kind of stuff. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to do what you do and make a second channel, make it a vlog, make it something that I enjoy doing, something that's low touch, something that's easy to do. And then something that also documents my life here in Japan and all that kind of stuff. So thank you for that. That definitely gave me a lot of confidence.
I'm glad, because that was my plan as well. When I first started that channel, I wanted a channel where I can just kind of be more myself and spend less time editing and just upload content that I just enjoy, just random stuff that I want to document in my life. So on my main channel, I'll be honest, I am so anal about the editing. I'm so anal about what video goes up on there. If it's not good enough, I would scrap it. But the vlog channel, it doesn't matter. You just upload whatever you want and, your audience appreciates it. And I get that it's going to divide your audience a little bit, but I think it's okay. I mean, my gaming channel, the audience is like completely different and it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you then not think about growth at all, like in terms of those channels? Do you just kind of just go with the flow and then?
I go with the flow. I used to look at the growth. I used to look at numbers, and that made me depressed. So I don't anymore.
That's so liberating.
Yeah, I just
honestly.
don't care. And that's why I feel like a lot of friends who knew me before see me now. They're like, "You're so much happier." I'm like, "Yeah, I just legit don't give a shit when I upload a video." So if it does bad, like, on YouTube, how it tells you how it goes, like, 10 out of 10, 1 out of 10. Man, that used to get me.
And the confetti and the thing when you get a number one.
It's
you're like,
bad. So I remember back then, like, you know, if it's like 1 out of 10, I'd be, oh yeah, like I'm so happy and like, you know, dopamine is there. But then when it's 10 out of 10, you're like, oh, what's going on? Then you change the thumbnail, you change the title, you do whatever you can to get that video to get more views.
Mm-hmm.
But it was not like, it was just not good. Like I was just, if it was 10 out of 10, I'd be depressed. But it would just ruin my day.
Mm-hmm.
But like at the end of the day, it's like, why was I making that video in the first place? Was it to get my views? Was it to help someone? Like that's why I needed that break.
Mm-hmm.
And after I came back, now if I upload a video, it's like 10 out of 10. I don't care.
Okay.
I'm not going to change the thumbnail. I'm not going to change the title. It is what it is. Yeah, and it's fine.
Yeah, that is not only extremely liberating, but it's extremely inspiring. You know, I think a lot of wannabe full-time creators, people who aspire to be a full-time creator, have this huge like mental block, this emotional block even, to be like, oh, I need to make X amount of money before I'm able to like go full-time. Or like, you know, if I'm not making 10 grand a month, then I'm a failure. Or, you know, if I'm not replacing my income, like the fact of the matter is there are so many different ways to do it. And, you know, if you get a channel that has, you know, even $3,000 a month in terms of
that's
like
still good
ad rev and all that kind of stuff, like it's still livable. And then you go and eventually we'll get to the size where you can do sponsorships and then maybe you do 1 or 2 a month like you started out doing. And then suddenly you have enough money to do it full time. Yeah.
And it's honestly like, okay, when I took the leap, okay, I'll be honest, I was young. I was only like, I think 24, 25 back then. So I didn't have that many responsibilities beside the mortgage that was going to come up. So it was easier for me to make that leap. But if you're a bit older, I understand how it's a bit harder.
I mean, if you have like a mortgage and you have kids and a dog and like a white picket fence and all that kind of stuff, I totally understand that it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But for the people who don't, or even for the people who do, you know, I personally think there is a very methodical path that you can take. That's just because of my own personality type, right? That you can create and build up to in order to build yourself the runway to then make the leap.
Yeah.
And I think the runway that most people actually require is a lot shorter than most people will give themselves credit for.
That's true.
You know, and so, you know, for you to just be able to survive on your gaming channel, that's
not many people know this.
That's so awesome though.
Yeah, not many people know this because I don't talk about that much because the video is literally just the gameplay. I don't even show my face.
Yeah.
It's just the gameplay, some text.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's crazy.
That's all it is. So, I mean, a lot of people watch my videos that watch my other channels. They don't realize it's me until they see the name. They're like, wait a second. And then
Kim Dao game. What?
Then they look and then they're like, wait, that's you. I'm like, yes, it's me. But like, not many people know I do this. And I don't think anyone knows really that that's like, you know, something that keeps me going because I don't have to focus on my other channels. I can just do whatever I want.
So
and then that channel just kind of funds my lifestyle.
That's so liberating.
Yeah. So I'm really grateful for that. I mean, like, look, a lot of people say things about me saying that, oh, it's just because Kim has a sugar daddy, and you know what? Just say what you want to say.
I mean,
let me play my Genshin. Just let me wow on my characters.
Yeah, I mean, look, everyone's in different circumstances, right?
Yeah.
And you know, especially when you have a husband, it's your life partner. You share everything. It's not that you have a quote unquote sugar daddy. It's that you have a partner and that you're a team and that you're moving forward together doing the things that you like to do.
Yeah.
You know, I know that Eric is looking to transition and do all the different things that aren't related to what he was previously doing.
Yes. And I told him, if you want to do that, I'm more than happy to support him.
Yeah.
And it's totally fine. Like I was actually his sugar mama for a long time, but no one really saw that. So this is something I kind of want to call out.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so I don't know if it's like this now, but back in the days when I moved to Japan in 2016-ish, if you were a man moving to Japan, it's because you worked, you know, really hard to get there. But if you're a woman moving to Japan, it's because you have rich parents, you got a sugar daddy, like someone is funding your lifestyle. And that's what really pissed me off back then. Because I worked so hard, like fucking cotton on.
Yep.
to get to where I was.
Doing the retail grind.
But people would say, oh, Kim just has a sugar daddy. And I'm like, where? Like, I would love one, yes, but where? Like, I worked to get to where I am. And I mean, I don't show the process because, you know, it's boring. Like, no one wants to know that.
You also can't show everything.
No, I can't.
You know, like,
I'm not filming myself at work.
Yeah,
like, it's not happening.
There's this like crazy, it's crazy for anyone on the outside to think that they know even like the majority, even half of what your life is all about just from what you post online. Yeah.
So I don't post that much, I'll be honest right now. I post like a vlog once a week, maybe, if even. I kind of don't post on Instagram anymore because I'll be honest, I don't give a shit. I feel like I don't need to share my life if I don't want to. And one of the reasons why I did back off a lot was because people would make assumptions on like small things. And it just pissed me off. So for example, if I don't wear my rings, okay, I've got eczema. I'm not going to put my finger up, but you see here, I got eczema on my fingers.
Okay.
Sometimes it comes on my ring finger. I take it off. People are like, oh, did something happen between you and Eric? No, my fingers are itchy. I got scabs all over myself. Like stuff like that. And, you know, I just got really fed up with people trying to make drama out of nothing. So, like, you know, when I'm filming and, you know, let's just say, for example, Eric's in the background, people will be like, oh, like, he looks really pissed off at you. He's not into you. He was in the background for 2 seconds. What do you mean? Like,
how can anyone like derive any meaning from that?
Exactly. And then they would say stuff like, oh, he's not into me and all that stuff. But like, we've been together for almost 14 years. Like, if there was an issue, I would have brought this up before. Like, it's just,
Yeah. Before we started rolling, I mentioned that I found a certain website, and this website had it was just like literally 5 pages of like the stuff that you did in the past. And them just like ripping shit out of you for like for doing all, and it's crazy. Because,
and honestly, it was like some of the stuff is nothing.
Yeah, but it's also mostly bullshit.
It is. It is all bullshit.
It's people assuming they know things about your life.
Yeah.
And then other people like piling in on the shitstorm of false information that is just
a lot of false information
perpetuated on the internet. It's crazy, and I don't understand where. I think I suffer from this a little bit less than you do, as in terms of like, you know, being a personality or whatever, however you want to phrase that, right? And I really sympathize with the fact that you had to go through just a lot of public opinion that is just not warranted.
Yeah, I feel like it happens a lot to females, especially.
Yeah,
especially
I see
females
that a lot with females. Yeah,
in Japan.
Yeah, right.
And I want to call something out here as well because I'm not talking shit about like English teachers. They are like JET program, like, and the people working for the ALT, like English stuff. I don't really know because I never worked in that field. And okay, like, I understand life can be tough, but like, what gives you the right to kind of rip me to pieces when I didn't do anything, you know? So they would say stuff like, oh yeah, you know, Kim's got a sugar daddy in Japan and that's how she's able to live. And it's like, no, I'm living off like, you know, 50% off bento boxes because I'm trying so hard to save money. And, you know, it's just, I understand that people sometimes when they're down in their lives, they want to bring themselves back up by trying to put others down. I get that. But I feel like unless if you have evidence, then you shouldn't really be saying any of these things.
I actually kind of feel sorry for the people who are so judgmental on the internet against the people that they're supposedly watching. Like if you're spending time watching someone's content, you obviously enjoy it to some degree.
Yeah.
And then you go and rip them to shreds. Like, okay. So I found this one quote, right?
Okay.
And I hope you don't take this to heart or anything because it's totally not true.
Yeah.
But the quote goes, "Oh my God, I can't believe how monotone and boring this girl is when she talks. Why do companies even want to work with her?" And
I
get
that a lot.
There's so many of these comments.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
But the thing is,
Holy
like, if you're
shit.
boring, if I'm boring, then don't fucking watch me.
Exactly.
Why are you watching me?
It's so crazy.
And that's why it just confuses me. I'm like, if I find someone boring, I'm just gonna
just
X
turn it off.
and just turn it
There's
off.
thousands of other
Yeah.
creators.
Yeah.
There's thousands
But
of
they
other
keep
videos.
watching me.
Yeah,
Why are you watching me?
It's crazy.
And it's just like, to me, it's like, it's making me money. So I mean, like, thanks. But like at the same time, it just confuses me. Like, why do you care so much?
It's this like internet entitlement
Yeah.
syndrome.
Yeah.
There's so many cesspits of the internet where people just the worst sides of them is as far as I'll go.
And I think for me, I mean, like back then, I'll admit it did affect me because I was just so confused. I was like, why do people hate me because I'm boring for some reason? Like, I mean, look, I'll admit I'm very different in my videos. People have said to me in real life, why don't you act like yourself in your videos? I want to separate my life.
Yeah.
I have my online personality and I have my own personality in real life.
Yep.
And I understand I do have a more bland personality on YouTube, but that's just what I want to show. And the more I get older, the older I get, the less I want to share. And that is why, because I don't want people, I'll be honest, like because I'm getting older, I just kind of want people to forget about me. And that's why I'm just kind of moving away from a lot of the content I used to make. And yeah, I just feel like I just want to protect my friends and family as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it like bland. I wouldn't call that, like I've known you for many years. And I think especially for us who have been in the game for a while, you have everyone who is a serious content creator, especially on YouTube, has a persona that they need to project onto their videos.
Yes.
Most of the time, that is just maybe a 20 or 30% like amped up version of who you really are.
Yes.
And that then on video conveys, even further down and all the rest of it. But like you have to have a YouTube persona.
Yeah. So
right?
it's always like, even if I say I'm trying to be myself, you're never going to be yourself on camera. It's never going to happen.
Or it's an extension of yourself that is just one side of the many, many other sides of yourself.
And look, I'll be honest, because of the way I make my content, it's very like, PG and boring. That's why companies work with me. That's just how it works.
That's facts, man. That's true.
It's facts. Like if I was myself, I'll be honest, if I was myself, I probably would have gone cancelled ages ago. The shit I say in real life, I call people out so much in real life. I am not worried about I speak the truth in real life. I can't do it online. I definitely cannot say any of this stuff online. Like it's just, people get offended so easily these days. It's like, you just can't. So it's a bit frustrating how that has affected like the way we make content these days. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. I mean, it also is part and parcel of the being a person on the internet with like some amount of followers, like that kind of blessing and curse.
Yes,
you do have to live with toxic people and all that kind of stuff.
Because it doesn't matter, even if you're like, Jesus or whatever, someone's going to hate you. Yeah,
there's someone, you're not going to please everyone, right?
Someone's going to hate you.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just for no reason. And I mean, like, look, recently, like, I haven't really had any hate because I don't think I have done anything. I literally just stay home, play games, play my dog.
Yeah.
Like, the only hate comments I get on my vlog channel, which isn't even hate, it's just like, oh, you film your dog too much. It's like, oh, okay. I'm sorry, but I love her. Like that's
your life.
That's like the hate I get. Which is not even hate. I'm not even mad at it. It's just I get it. It's true. Yes, it's true.
I mean, as a person who knows you, like that is your life.
Yeah, like I talk about my dog all the time.
Yeah. That's it's crazy. I know that especially probably about 4, 5, maybe 6 years ago, in the Japan YouTuber space, there was like just so much drama and controversy and all that kind of. It was like honestly, a bloody sitcom,
It is, and I just don't understand. Like, okay, I'll be honest. My one regret when I moved to Japan, like in 2016, was being friends with everyone. Because I was like, oh, everyone's like, content creator. We're going to make videos together. We're going to be best friends. Amazing. Yeah, no, it was not amazing. I was very naive. I was very stupid. I trusted everyone. And yeah, I can actually say I do regret. I really regret being friends with some people. And it has...
Why is that?
I think just getting backstabbed. And just, I think like I grew up in a very sheltered environment. So all my friends in Australia, they were so normal. And I'm still friends with like my high school friends now. Like we're all really close and I always grew up around those people. So I assumed everyone was like that. But no, it's not like that. And, even now, I'll be honest, I don't really become friends with any content creators because I'm scared of getting hurt again. And I've got great friends in Japan, like, look, I'm friends with some content creators like you and like I've got other friends as well. But I generally avoid being friends with a lot of content creators because I feel like there's always a motive. And especially now with Instagram, this is something big I see these days. Instagram doesn't make money, right? You don't make money on Instagram unless if you get a sponsor. And okay, I get it, Instagram's easier to grow, but it doesn't make money. So everyone's fighting for jobs. And you know how the amount of Japan influencers these days, there's so many.
Crazy.
There's crazy amounts. Everyone's
Insane.
fighting for these jobs.
Yeah.
And I understand because I was there. I mean, I was fighting for jobs at the start as well. Now I don't have to. I just do jobs I want to take. But I know everyone's fighting for these jobs.
Yeah.
And they're backstabbing each other, trying to get these jobs. And
Interesting.
I'm hearing, okay, I'm not part of anything, but I'm hearing all these, these things going on in the influencer community. And I'm just like, okay, look, first of all, I'm like 10 years older than them. So I'm not friends with any of them.
It's a different generation.
No,
isn't
I'm just too old for this now. I'm just.
You and me both. We're both like just too old for this shit.
I'm just tired.
Yeah.
And if I have to call out someone, I'll just call them out because I just don't care anymore.
It's really interesting you mentioned that. I didn't know that was the case, but I had a suspicion because it's also kind of natural and it also is bound to happen.
Exactly. That's
there is
why
a finite amount of gigs and specifically Japan tourism stuff out there. Very, very small amount of things, opportunities, campaigns, whatever. And the explosion of Japan this year, somewhat and last year, but mostly this year.
It's gone crazy.
It's crazy. It's like almost, it's pre-COVID levels in some facets, but it's way past pre-COVID levels in others.
And I understand because if you're trying to make a living, I get it. But also it's just such a toxic environment and everyone's fighting to survive.
Yeah, it's very cutthroat.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, for me, a lot of them have come to me for advice. And I tell them like, just do YouTube. At least you get paid ads.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, I'll be honest, they say, oh, it's a lot of hard work. It's too much work.
What's harder? Stabbing someone else in the back or making your own video?
Probably making your own video. But yeah, it is what it is. Like people say that because people now consume short form content, right? And I understand long form content, it takes a long time to grow. I mean, for my Genshin account, it took like a good 6-7 months until I was actually seeing real money. But everyone starts from zero and you have to work for it. And that's just, I feel like something these influencers don't realize.
Right. I think that's just a very common viewpoint from most people who get into the game for the first time. And I think that's the same with any industry. It's what can get me results now and a kind of not a kind of ignorance for looking at the future.
Yeah.
And kind of building your long-term career. There is less thought about where am I going to be in 3, 5, 10 years.
That's true.
More so, a thought about what's going to get me the next 1 million views on a reel or whatever the case may be.
Because I guess thinking back for me, so when I first started, yes, my goal was to eventually make it a living, but I made 28 cents the first month. And I'll never forget that because I was so happy. I made 28 cents. I made something.
Yeah.
And it's
not
because,
zero.
Yeah, it's not zero. But back then, because there weren't that many people making money on YouTube. So to me, that was like to me at that time, I was like, wow, it's crazy. I made money off a video I just uploaded. But now, I think these days where you see influencers everywhere, YouTubers, Instagrammers everywhere, people are like, oh, I want that.
Mm.
And then they just expect it to happen immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't happen, then they get upset and I don't know, stabby.
So what's the remedy? So if you were to give advice to, one or many of these Japan influencers who are all supposedly stabbing themselves in the back, maybe publicly, but most likely surreptitiously. What might you give in terms of advice to get them out of that and like save them?
I would say, honestly, make content that you want to make. Because I'll be honest, if you're going to make content that you don't like, that you hate, you're going to end up hating this and you're probably going to end up quitting. And I was close to doing that. And that's why I say make content that you are passionate about. Why are you making content? Like that's why I ask them, why are you doing this? And, if they say something like, oh, I want to help people, I want to show how beautiful Japan is, okay, that's fine. Keep making those videos. Keep going at it. But then also think about doing something else on the side. Because let's just say you're just doing Instagram, that's just not enough. Unless if you are regularly getting gigs every month, it's not enough to survive. So do something else. Start maybe a small business. Start, a YouTube channel. Start something else that can earn you income because that's what you need. Or get a job. This is what people don't want to do. They don't want to get a job. So I tell them, I worked in retail for 5 years. You can do the same. What's stopping you?
It's just not sexy to talk about,
I know, but it's to me, it's just common sense. I just don't get it. I'm like there's a lot of influencers I know that just have no money. They can't even live off what they're making. But it's just get a job. I don't see how it's so hard. Okay, maybe I am talking from a privileged position, but at the same time, we worked, right, really hard to get to where we were, and it wasn't glamorous. But I guess also it is to a fault where I showed that, or I pretended that I was living a glamorous lifestyle, I guess, when in reality I was working really hard, but I never showed that. So people assume that is your life. But most people, that's not their life. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you've been on both sides of the story.
Yeah.
With that. I think, yeah, it is very difficult. I think there is something to be said about teaching people the skills, teaching creators, especially new ones, the skill of making money. I think for you, what other avenues do you think are good for these creators to use, except for, not talking specifically about YouTube ad rev, but what are other avenues that you would suggest to them, tactically, for them to make a living and make money?
So for me, I would suggest them to, starting off, of course, if you don't have the revenue to start off something, then just get a job, save up money, and then you can maybe start a business. And of course, it depends on what you're going to be doing, but starting a business and using your platform to promote that business is a really good way to go. Also, there's other things you can do, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but for example, I know some influencers, they do some tours here and there. They would bring their followers and take them around Japan. That is a way for them to get some ad revenue there. I know some have made companies where they resell things in Japan, it's a business. They're still making money out of it. They use their platform to promote that. And that's also a good way to make money. There's so many things you can do. There's really a lot, but I think this is not just Japan influencers I see, but I see this in influencers all around the world. And I feel like in Sydney, this was very much the community. people would spend all their money on luxury goods, show it off, but in reality, they're struggling to pay their credit cards. And
This is like lifestyle
bloggers,
and,
yeah.
and stuff like that.
And this, I feel like in Sydney, this was something that I saw, and I was shocked because I was like, for me, if I couldn't afford something, there's no way I'm buying it.
Right.
Like if that was going to put a dent in my, bank account, I would not even look at it. But for these girls, like they had to show off different outfits all the time, different bags, like, all these luxury goods. And I don't think that's smart. Use that money on something else is my advice. Yeah.
Definitely like creating a business and making products, selling
selling a service.
Doing all that kind of, like
there's
not
so many
trying
things.
to keep up with the Joneses, I think coming back to Japan influence, because I just love talking about that. But like Japan influences specifically because it's such an interesting thing that has come up in the last couple of years, and especially pertinent this year. There are so many influences that are needing to go out and do the Japanese things, like going on luxury train rides and going to cat islands and eating outrageous foods and things that have like catches. But like when your life is a string of those in perpetuity and you're just going from that thing like constantly to the next, it's like when do you get a chance to stop and think about the long-term view?
Yeah, because when people do stuff like that, people, yes, you might get views, you might get subscribers. Why are they subscribing to you? It's because it's Japan. If you moved away from Japan, you've got nothing, right? And that's what a lot of people don't think about.
What do you think about that?
I think, it's for me, because I am so focused on Japan. If I moved away from Japan, well, okay, like I do have a real life example of this. I moved away from Japan in 2017, right? And I knew, okay, once I move away from Japan, my views are probably going to go down and all that stuff. Income's going to go down. No, it went up. My views went up. Even if I was uploading videos, even if I was making vlogs in Australia, the views were about the same. My views shot all the way up because I planned my content better. When I was living in Japan, I wasn't planning. I was just making shit.
Doing it as it comes.
But if I was traveling to Japan, I was planning out the content, planning out the shots I needed to film. My content was more professional, I would say. So it had a reason.
Right.
And that's why my views shot up. So it shot up when I left Japan, not when I was living here.
Interesting. So is the lesson there just to be a little bit more methodical in your overall content strategy kind of thing?
Yes, for sure. And just think about why you're posting. So look, for me, let's just say if I moved away from Japan now, look, I feel like because now I'm more focused on Japan, yes, my views will go down. Yes, subscribers will probably leave. But I'm okay with that because, it's just like I don't care that much because I still got Genshin.
Well, you got a gaming channel to support you, right?
That's
So I think my big takeaway from that is not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, for sure. Because let's just say, like, look, for me as well included and you as well, let's just say we say something really stupid online, we get cancelled, it's gone. Like it's all gone, right?
Yeah. I mean, your career is only as fragile as your last outlandish comment.
Exactly. So it's like it's scary, but that's why just in case for the date I do say something stupid, that's why I've moved on to some other things. So I'm starting a business soon, and
what business are you starting?
Dog accessories.
Ah, yes. You did start that in Australia.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that because that's really interesting.
I was bored.
As all good businesses start out.
Really bored. And I was spending a lot of money on my dog. And I was buying all these dog bows, like you just attach them to the dog collars.
Yeah.
Super cute. But I was spending so much money and I was thinking, I can make this. And then also I wanted Japanese accessories, but no one was making them. So I was like, okay, well then how about I do it? And that's the same thing that happened to Genshin. I was like, how about I do it? So I had no idea how to sew. I bought a sewing machine at Spotlight. It was like a cheap $100 one. I taught myself how to sew. And in about 2 months, I decided to open up a store because I was making them for friends and people were saying, you should probably sell these. I was like, okay, why not? And okay, I did not post this on my social media. I kept it very separate because Hina has her own Instagram account. I kept it exclusively in the dog community. So some subscribers did go to Hina's account and follow her, but like not many did. So I decided I wanted this to be small because I was making everything by hand and it was all made to order. So I knew I had no time to, like if let's just say if it blew up, I would not be able to handle it. So I wanted to keep it small on purpose. I didn't really do much marketing for it, but when I first opened, the first night I had 30 orders. The next day, 20 orders, and I was like, "Oh my god, what is going on?" I'm so stressed. Like,
how are you going to make all these bows in time?
I was so stressed out. But so I mean, everyone was so understanding. I made a post saying, "I'm so sorry, but it's going to take like maybe 3 weeks for you to get your order because I'm making everything from scratch. I cut the fabric, I do everything, I sew." So, I mean, people were so nice about it. And then what happened was that, a lot of these people had dog accounts. So they would post their dogs wearing my bows. They would tag me and then it just exploded. And I didn't expect that and I got stressed out. But then also I was moving to Japan at the time, so I had to shut down. So I did shut down. And even up until now, it's been 2 years, people have still been messaging me, asking me when am I going to open up again? Because everything I made was so unique. And it was so fun making because it was a creative way to, I don't know, I like being creative.
Yeah.
I like making stuff. It was fun. I enjoyed it so much. Like I was stressed, but I loved it.
Yeah. I think a lot of people will listen to the story and be like, oh, this isn't like photo or video or Instagram or YouTube or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like kind of bored and don't really want to listen to this. But the fact of the matter is like creativity transcends all of it.
Yeah.
And you as a creative person have so many different outlets and so many opportunities to do something really amazing with your creativity. So I remember when I first heard about you making that.
Yeah.
And I looked at them and thought they were really, really good and was really rooting for you to pick that up. So like I'm super happy that you're thinking about trying to pick that up now.
Yeah, I know I have to do it differently because I won't have time to order anymore. But look, I have someone that's going to help me set up the business.
Yep.
I'm hoping in Japan, and I'm hoping if it grows, I can hire people to help me do this because at the moment it's going to be just me. But eventually, I would love to hire a team. I would love to have like my own studio to do this. Have a few sewing machines around and just it was something I love doing. Like just seeing customers, which are dogs. I love dogs. It was the best thing to wake up to. Just seeing your tagged photos and it's all like dogs wearing your bows. It's
super cute with those bows.
It's honestly like I was so happy doing that. And okay, maybe it wasn't making as much money. But I was so happy.
Something you like doing.
I was so happy doing that.
Yeah.
And I mean, the thing that I have learned from, I guess my whole career is money does not equal happiness.
Yeah. I definitely agree.
For sure.
And I don't really see you as the kind of person who is chasing a lot of money
Not
either.
really, yeah.
There are many different creators who are all about the money.
Yeah.
Creating courses and then like milking their audiences for all they're worth and then creating digital products and doing that. I am one of those people.
Yeah. I mean, I get it though.
But it's not for everyone.
No, it's not. Yeah. I know that for me, I will, because of my ADHD, I will start it and I'll never finish it. And, I'm very aware that's what I am. But look, I respect people that can do that and I don't see a problem with it. But I do see, well, I guess kind of going a bit off tangent, but the reels that people were saying like, oh yeah, I made $8,000 this month and I made $20,000, $100,000. Please buy my guide.
or you can buy my course and I'll teach you how to do it.
I'm like, it's all bullshit, isn't it? Like I don't believe that one bit. And I see a lot of that going on, which
I think sometimes it is real. But they've just done a bad job at convincing other people that it is real and an actual thing. Because I mean, there are creators who have built systems, very sophisticated systems that like are able to teach people how to make a lot of money. It's just there are also equally a very large amount of people who say they can do those things and then it just doesn't pan out and it's all fake and all the rest of it. So it is something you need to be aware of if you are a creative trying to go down that route. 100%.
That's true. I mean, like, just be careful.
Yeah, like
be careful.
Like anything else.
Yeah, just don't trust everyone out there.
Yeah,
is what I'll say.
So you do a lot of things. I think you're a lot more entrepreneurial than maybe you might label yourself as, because you are, from the outside looking in, very much not afraid to buck the trend and go and do something else that people aren't doing, and make a living and make a success in doing that.
Yeah.
Where do you think you got this trait from? Because not everyone has it, and not everyone bothers to learn it either.
I think it does. Okay, like honestly, it does stem a lot from my ADHD. If I'm interested in something, I'm super interested in it. I will research the heck out of it. I'll research to the point where like I'll know everything about something. So one example, I got really into candles, making candles. I researched a lot.
Like wax candles?
Yeah, just candles. Like you just burn candles, like scented candles.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was really into that. And I was thinking, I can make this a business. It's going to be awesome. I researched a lot. I bought a lot of stuff. I have everything I need to make a candle. Haven't made a single one. It's been sitting there for like 6 months. Yeah.
And Eric's just yelling at you in the background.
Yeah, he's probably like, so I do this a lot. I'm like, oh, this is so interesting. I'm going to do this. I have everything I need to make a candle. Haven't made a single one. And like just really dumb stuff. So for example, when we were trying to find an apartment to move into in Japan, there was this one building in like Meguro I was kind of interested in. And it was a brand new building. So I was like researching in Japanese because I wanted information about this building. So because I wanted to see if we can move into this building anytime soon because it was a brand new one and stuff. So then I researched in Japanese and I found this forum and people were talking about this building. So then, they were saying, oh yeah, so we can buy here, we can rent, and then you can move into this date. And then also if you buy, they are having auctions on this date, and then you can, like, these are the prices. And I was like, oh, interesting. So then like I was just looking and people were saying like, you shouldn't invest in this building. It's not a good building. There's a building that's going to be built in Hamamatsu. Apparently that's going to be good to invest in. So, just
hot
like,
tip.
I was just like looking, I don't know why I was looking at this. I wasn't looking to buy, but like I told the real estate agent, he's just like, how do you know all this? I'm like, I just did some reading.
Just go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. And he's just like, okay, well, I need that information. Thank you. But like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, like, my mind just goes to these things and I research so much.
Do you think there's aside from your ADHD, do you think there's a common trait between the things that you decide to go and rabbit hole down? Or is it just whatever catches your eye?
Whatever catches my eye.
Yeah.
But then also at the same time, I get bored very easily.
Right.
And that's an issue because I will admit I am kind of bored of YouTube.
Right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that because I'm very much in the same boat, which is why I'm trying to do this,
like,
this podcast.
I'm just bored. I just don't know. Okay, I just don't care. Like before I was like, okay, I was so into it. I had a set schedule. At least 2 times a week I will upload on my main channel. 2 times a week on my vlog channel. That was like a set schedule. I had that for like years. And then it kind of went down to like 1 video a week, then 1 video every 2 weeks, 1 video a month. Yeah, and then, okay, like I just feel like I've done so much that I'm burnt out and I don't know what else to do. And that is an issue that I'm trying to work through myself. But yeah, it's just like, what do you do? Like,
are you burnt out? So I think everyone kind of thinks about burnout a little bit differently from person to person. Are you burnt out in the sense of doing so much volume for so long?
I think so.
Or are you burnt out for, doing the same topic or the same general things for so long? Like, is it a categorical thing or is it a volume thing?
I think a bit of both.
Okay.
Because I'm so focused on Japan, right? And I've been doing so many Japan videos. And yeah, I do feel burnt out from it. And I'll be honest, I have been trying to edit videos every day, but like I know this is like my problem. I'm trying to work through it myself, but I sit there and then I get distracted and I'm doing something else, and then I end up doing nothing for the whole day. And this really frustrates me that I've done nothing the whole day. But it's just
as it should.
Yeah, it really frustrates me because I'm like, I could have done all this stuff.
Yeah,
but I've done nothing, and it's just
type A personality, right?
Yeah, and it's so frustrating. But like, I know it's my fault. I know I have no one else to blame but myself. That's why I'm trying to work through this. And it's getting a little bit better, but it's going to take time. But yeah, for me, if I'm not into something, I'm not going to care about it, and that's the problem. The biggest problem.
You can pick things up just as easily as you can put things down.
Yes. And for years I was like, YouTube. Now I'm just like,
do whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, I just don't care.
Just do whatever makes you happy, and then work 1 week out of every 12 weeks on your Genshin thing, and then that's it.
Yeah. But I know like,
I mean, that's the life, man.
I mean, I wish I could do that, but I know that's not wise. So that's why I'm not going to do that. But yeah, like, I do think, okay, the issue I have is I work a lot of hours. Am I actually working? Probably not the whole time. And that's
productive the entire time.
No, I'm not. I'm absolutely not productive. And it frustrates me. But it's something that I will work through.
Yeah. It's been an interesting experience for me too, because I am not burnt out on the volume of things. Like I've been creating one YouTube video a week, every single week for the last 3 years or whatever before I stopped or whatever. And then, doing all the reels every day and short form and caring a lot about my Instagram and doing blog posts and working on the business and blah, blah, blah. Every day is something different. Every day is something. But in terms of YouTube, for me, I'm much more on the side of categorically burnt out. Like I am kind of sick of talking about photography.
Right.
By the time this goes live, the first 3 episodes of this podcast should be live as well. And in the video prior to this, I mentioned that this is the case. This is what's happening with me right now, which is that, talking about photography, like day in and day, I get bored, man. Like,
I get it.
I need novelty. I need to do something different.
Yeah.
And when it's very interesting reflecting on it, because looking back at the arc of my own life, I've gone through so many different phases of life. I've had so many lifetimes in my life where I've been like interested in different things and different hobbies and pick things up and put things down and just everything from like being a DJ to like riding motorcycles to like dancing hip hop. To going and doing powerlifting. Like I've done so many random things and I've finally, like, maybe not recently, but definitely within the last decade or so, realized that myself as a personality, my personality type is such that I always need some level of novelty in my life.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. Yeah, like, I mean, okay, I've definitely calmed down a lot. As in, my lifestyle is like definitely more chilled out and more calm. I've been trying to care less about things, and it has definitely helped me, for sure, because I used to care so much about what people thought about me. I cared so much about, what I was putting out, what content I was putting out, and that really it kind of held me back a lot. But now, I mean, look, I can't say that I don't care completely. I still care somewhat, but yeah, like for example, my YouTube, I don't care as much as I used to. But then like in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, I don't care about this anymore. I need to find something else I care about, because what the fuck am I going to do? I'm not going to sit around and do nothing all day. So that's why I wanted to start this dog business again, because it's just something, I need to find something I love. And for me, like, it's dogs. Love dogs. And
dogs and gaming.
Yeah, dogs and gaming. And the thing I find joy every day is walking my dog. So I walk her at least an hour, but like, because I have her, I go talk to the locals. I know a lot of people around my area now. I talk to someone random every day.
I noticed that you made a lot of doggy friends.
Yes. Yes, I have.
Like doggy owner friends.
Yeah.
Also dogs as friends, but yes.
Yeah. And it's really nice. I am friends with my neighbors, which never happens in Japan. Like you never become friends with your neighbors.
No, you don't talk to your neighbors. No,
Yeah,
God
no.
forbid.
I became friends with a lot of my neighbors, and and look, it has really helped out. Because one time, I haven't talked about this, but Eric had to go to hospital. He had an anaphylactic shock. I had to call my Japanese neighbor, be like, "Can you help?" And she came down and helped. I became friends with another Japanese neighbor recently, and then she has a car. She drives me and Hina around. Like, it's amazing. Like I've definitely made more Japanese friends this time around. That's why I'm so happy, and getting to know the locals as well. So yeah, it's I find joy in that every day. I get to talk to random people. I'm very stupid because I open up to people way too quickly. So I'm trying to kind of put some wall ups, put some
walls up.
Walls up. Sorry, I can't speak now. But I just talk. I talk to people a lot. I'm naturally very chatty. So yeah, that's how I'm able to make random friends, like doggy friends. So it's great. Yeah.
I love it. It's a very wholesome life.
Yeah, it's great. Like I'm just walking around, and usually I walk around 4 or 5 p.m. The sun's setting. It's beautiful. Like I'm just like, this is beautiful. Like just walking, like the sunset, just looking at like the scenery. It's just, to me, that is what makes me happy. And my friend noticed as well, because he came over like a couple of months ago, and he joined me on the walk with Hina, and he's just like, I can see why you're happy. Like you're just so calm compared to how I knew you before. You were so stressed out before. You hated Japan before. I was like, yep, that was me. But now I'm loving Japan. I love my life. It's very chill. I don't share much of it because I'll be honest, like this is the funny thing. When I'm depressed, I share a lot. When I'm really happy, I'd never share anything.
Isn't that really funny?
It's so funny. Like I told my psychologist this, but she was just like, yeah, true. Like that happens a lot. I'm like, yeah, when I was trying to prove myself when I was depressed. I was like, oh no, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
But then now that I am happy, I'm like, I don't need to prove anything. Like I don't care what people say. It's fine. Like I'm happy. So
definitely a growth arc,
yeah,
like a personal growth arc that you've gone through.
Yeah,
which is really, really cool and inspiring to see, because a lot of people in the creator space especially can get really stuck into the whole creator sphere. Like you live, you eat, you sleep content.
Yeah.
Like that's what you do. That's your life.
Yeah.
And when eventually you get so consumed by making content and then thus consuming other people's content. Also, your entire world just becomes content, and you don't have any other
and I think
hobbies, interests, whatever.
And that's dangerous. I feel like, especially now, now more people are talking about it, with mental health, I guess.
Yeah,
it's definitely
absolutely.
For me, I've been through it and it was pretty bad. I mean, now I'm in a much happier space. I don't consume any content.
You don't consume content?
No, I don't watch any other
That's
content creators. I watch some murder mysteries and stuff on Netflix.
Just for casual.
Yeah, just casual.
Okay.
I love that stuff. It's so good. Like
you and Steph both. Yeah.
Yeah, I had Disney Plus at one point. I watched I watched a series of documentaries about drugs.
Sure.
Yeah, just because it was interesting.
But content, content, user generated content.
Yeah, I don't watch any of. I watch Netflix documentaries and I don't know, just yeah. I'm more interested in watching stuff I really enjoy, and of course, I would support my friends sometimes. I will watch their stuff sometimes, but I'm not on Instagram very much. If you look at my time spent, it's 5 minutes. I don't spend much time on Instagram. I don't spend much time on YouTube. It's just I just watch shit. Love Island and all that. It's so good. The drama, it's so good.
Hey, everyone needs their vice, right?
Yeah. So I watch trash like that, and it's amazing. It's great.
Yeah, but you don't consume other people's content.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
that's
interesting.
I'm not interested.
Yeah, I also try not to do it too much, but I do it because of a tactical reason. More along the lines of being original and like thinking originally and bringing external ideas into whatever you're making rather than trying to copy the next person who does the next thing.
Yeah.
That's why I do it. And also it kind of fries my brain when I like go into the feed the first thing in the morning. I'm like, and then the next few hours I just feel like shit and I just don't like it. But anyway, like it's interesting you don't consume content, especially how often, you know, considering how often you are creating content.
Yeah, I don't consume any of it. And it's interesting though, because look, I'll admit my reels on Instagram, like I've hired someone to do it and she's great. She makes my reels for me. I don't make my reels.
Tell me who you make. Tell me who you hired. I want someone to do that for me too.
I also have someone that edits my vlogs.
Yep.
So okay, this is something that is an issue for me. I need to learn to let go.
Me too.
Because I've hired so many people, and even now the editor I've got, she's great. But I still put in so much time and effort just to cut down this video. I should just give it all to her.
Leave it.
But I can't.
Right.
I can't. I need to cut down. And I spend like hours on this and I really shouldn't be because she's editing this video. I'm just doing normal cuts. But this takes me like days sometimes. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but I need to learn to let go. And this is a huge issue that I have not been able to work through. So
I see.
Yeah. So my recent vlogs, I don't edit them. Someone else edits them.
Really?
But I do cut them down first.
Okay.
And I really should just let go.
Yeah, because the whole initial cut down is like the bulk of the job anyway, right?
Well, I mean, the thing is, I don't cut down it's not perfectly cut because I cut it, then I give it to the editor and she still has to cut more anyway. So like, why don't I just, I get it. Why don't I just give it all to her?
Yeah.
But I can't. I can't. It's really difficult.
What's the answer? How do you fix that?
I don't know. And that's the main issue that I have right now. I need to let go and just let other people edit, but I can't let go.
I think maybe just like try giving them like a Word doc next time and be like, okay, this is what happened. This is the footage. Here, just try it.
Yeah.
And then see the output at the end.
But I have to color grade it myself because it's my own style. I have to cut it. I don't know. It's just, there's like some like.
I think there are tactical solutions to your problems.
Yeah.
In terms of like, you know, especially if you're complaining about color grading, it's like, okay.
Yeah, I know. It's stupid.
Yeah, you could easily be like, here is 12 stills.
Yeah.
And then here is how I color graded them. And then please do it like this.
I know. I know. Yeah, I'm trying to let go. It's always a work in progress. I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. But I think that is what is holding me back a lot of my content as well. I have so many videos I have planned out for my main channel.
You haven't posted that much on your main channel recently, right?
Yeah. I have all these videos already filmed. I just have to put it together and give it to an editor, and I just can't.
Right.
I don't know why. It sounds so stupid. I just can't because I need to. Yeah, I want to be in control, and that's the problem. And I feel like a lot of other creators have the same issue because I've been doing it myself for so long. I have my own style. Finding someone that matches that style is so hard. So I've gone through multiple editors and I finally found one that's like really good, but I still haven't been able to let go. Yeah,
I think it's a huge problem. Actually, you know, I commend you because you're one step ahead of me.
Yeah, it's hard.
In that like I haven't gone through the stage of like really sifting through a lot of different editors at the moment. And I think that's just because the way editors are at the moment is like there's just so many of them right now.
There's so many,
and everyone wants to make $1. And I get people fucking emailing me every single day being like, hey, I could make your YouTube videos into a reel and and short form content. And, you know, I charge this much. And I'm like, oh my God. But the people that you want are the professional ones.
Yes.
You know, the ones that like, it's not necessarily a case of you finding someone who fits your style. It's a case of finding the skilled editor who can do any style.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Hard.
Like that's what I want. Like
it's hard.
That's the kind of level. So if you're a video editor out there and you that sounds like you just send me an email.
Send me too. No, but yeah, for me it's I get it. Like for me, I have so many people emailing me as well saying, hey, I can edit for you. But like, my style is like, okay, it's pretty simple. My style is not that hard. But like, you know, of course, I'm a girl. So like my style is more feminine, like the way I edit's more feminine and everything. So this is a funny story because I hired an assistant in Japan, right? I wanted a Japanese assistant.
I think I met her, right? Did I meet her?
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
did.
yeah,
Yeah. So
once.
she's great.
Yeah,
I filmed me. She's amazing.
Yeah.
But it was funny how I hired her. I posted an ad, right, on Indeed.
Oh.
I got banned.
What?
Because I wanted a female assistant and I wasn't allowed to say that.
Oh,
they banned me, the
really?
assholes. Yeah. I was like, I'm not trying to like be
not
creepy.
trying to be sexist or anything.
I just feel more comfortable with a female.
That's fair.
That's it.
That's fair.
And I got banned.
Oh.
Assholes.
That's some woke shit. Like
they banned
just
me.
too much, you know.
I get it though.
PC, Like, yeah, okay.
I get it.
anyway.
I understand. But I'm just one person. I just want another female to work with me. I'm not like a company or anything.
Yeah.
It's just my style is more feminine. I just want a girl.
Like
That's it.
you want another girl to like be there when you have to do an outfit change.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes when we travel togetger, we can stay in the same room.
Yeah, stay in the same room, save costs,
And
all
that's
that kind
it.
of, yeah.
Like it's
not,
just that. But I got banned. But anyway, I found her in the end, so it's fine. I didn't need my account anyways. Yeah, it's fine.
Is she still with you?
Yeah, she's still with me. Yeah.
What is having an assistant like? Because I've always thought about having one, and you get this. So there's like in the last, I don't know, 5-10 years, whatever. There has been this like wave of like digital nomad. I'm going to get a virtual assistant kind of like mentality going on. But you've got an actual like real person like with you all the time kind of. What's that like?
It's nice. Like she, I mean like for her, she's got a really good work ethic. So she, like her passion is filming.
Right.
She wants to be a filmmaker.
Okay.
So that's why it's just perfect.
Interesting.
So also at the time, I really wanted a Japanese assistant because I want to practice my Japanese.
Sure.
So, you know, like you can win-win.
Yeah,
So then,
I would totally want that too.
Yeah. So then I purposely hired like a Japanese assistant. And yeah, she's like, it's just nice. Like because I'm usually filming alone. If I want some help, I can ask a friend, but I feel bad because I am doing some work and they're just helping me out. And it's boring as fuck for them. I don't like...
Especially if they're not a creator friend.
Yeah, and I feel bad. Like, you know, I do have friends that are, like, I know they will say yes if I ask, but I don't want to because I feel bad. But also if I offer to pay, they'll say no. But also I don't want to mix friends and work. So like, absolutely, I won't work with any friends. So yeah, like I thought the best way to work around this is just hire someone and pay someone for their time, and it's worked out. I don't work with her all the time. Like, it's just whenever I need her, I message her, and yeah, she's nice, she's great.
So what does she like aside from filming? What does she do? Like, what is the workflow?
I was just filming.
Oh, it's just filming?
Just filming,
right?
Yeah.
So it's whenever you are going to a new location or whatever, you call her up and be like, "Hey, I need you to film this."
Yeah, and she'll come with me and she'll film. Of course, like, you know, I pay for transport. If she eats food, I'll pay for everything. And yeah, it's mainly filming. Originally, I wanted her to help me edit, but the problem is I didn't think about it at the time. But she doesn't speak English. My content's in English.
So she does.
Yeah.
That's so true.
I didn't think about this. I was like, at the time, I was like, I'm so smart.
I only just got that as well.
I was like, I'm so smart. I'm just going to get a Japanese. I can't speak English. I can practice my Japanese. And then I realized, I was like, oh, shit.
No, you need a bilingual.
Yeah, I fucked up. So, but anyway, like, she's really good. And like, she's great for filming and she's really good at it as well.
How much do you pay her, if you don't mind me asking?
So it depends. But usually around like, I don't know. She just invoices me. I'll be honest. I'm so bad with finances.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Like, yeah,
that's cool.
I am terrible.
It's fine. So then, in terms of like,
even editors, I'm like, just invoice me. I don't know.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and I just pay whatever they invoice. It's so bad. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I've always thought about it as well, and you know, especially when you're doing gigs by yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah, you don't want to inconvenience people, put people out of, you know, the way. But also for me, like, I really need a you know, everyone knows Peter McKinnon in this.
Oh yes, of course.
In this space.
Yes.
Like, I want a Captain Kirk. Like I
Yeah.
want like a bilingual English Japanese person who does filming occasionally,
Yeah.
but edits for me all the time, and I work with them, and
Yeah,
maybe
that
they
would
come
be
into the
nice.
studio, and
That's what I wanted originally. But then me being me and not really being consistent with my content, it's my fault. I know it's my fault.
yeah,
It's totally my fault. But like, yeah, I just have to work on being more consistent. And yeah, definitely, yeah, I need to deal with my finances better because but then also like at the same time, like,
all right.
like, okay, for me, I know how to make money.
Mm.
That's it.
Okay. I mean, that's the
it.
only skill you need.
But I don't know how to like invest it. I don't know how to
then
do anything.
you just pay someone to do the things
Yeah,
you
so
can't do.
Eric comes in.
Yeah, exactly.
And he does it for me. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I mean, it's the same with me. Like in terms of finances, I know how to make money. I know how to make content.
Yeah, that's it
But
for me.
I pay, especially here in Japan,
Yeah.
like I pay someone to do all of my accounting,
Oh yeah, me too.
all of my books,
Yeah.
all my bookkeeping, all my HR, like
True. You have to do
I
everything.
employ myself, so
Yes.
I have to
Yeah.
get payroll and
Yeah.
do social insurance. And
That's true. Yeah, I mean, like, look,
I can't be asked.
me too. So when tax season came, everyone was like stressed out. Like all the influencers were stressed out, asking me how I did my taxes. I'm like, I paid someone
Pay the problem
a
away.
lot of money.
Yeah, honestly.
It was so expensive.
it's
Oh my god!
worth
But it's
it.
worth it.
It's
Yeah.
worth
Look, it
it.
was a lot, but I don't care. Like I didn't
Yeah.
have to deal with it. He did everything for me. He filed it for me.
Yeah.
I didn't have to touch anything.
It's worth it. Like for your own
Yeah.
mental sanity. Like you
Yeah.
can't do
I'm not doing it in
everything.
Japanese.
Yeah. Well,
Like I can't even do accounting in English.
Exactly.
Even in Japanese,
Exactly.
there's no way.
no way.
So I just paid this guy. He did it for me, and
Look, like
great.
you work off like one, SP or whatever, and then that's
Oh yeah, it's great.
that's the thing for the year. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of it's done.
Yeah.
It saves you so much headache.
That's why I'm just like, look, if there's a problem, just throw money at it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't deal with it.
I mean, this sounds like rich people problems.
No,
like
I'm not
champagne
rich,
problem, blah 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 blah. But like,
But
but
it's-
honestly, for
honestly,
your own, like mental health,
have
for
to.
your own like productivity, and the amount of time that you spend, like specifically in Japan, like Japanese paperwork is like
It's
the
the
worst
worst.
thing in
I've
the world.
I can't deal.
Yeah. No.
So I just paid this guy and he did everything for me. And like a lot of influencers were asking because they were like stressed. I'm like, just pay someone. Like it's a lot, but honestly, I will say if you just pay this person, they'll just make it go away.
Worse.
Like it's it's just what you need because
it is the most high return thing
yeah.
on
And
your time.
I mean, look, I get it. Maybe I can do it myself if I really looked into it, but I'm not interested. I failed commerce. Like, do you really think I can do this myself? There's no way. Yeah.
All right. So, we talked about a lot in this conversation, and one thing that is the biggest takeaway for me is just the message of your life as a creator is much more broader than just the work that you put in all the time. What would you, for a brand new creator, what would you give as like a parting piece of advice to starting creators who are on their journey for, potentially the aspiration of being a full-timer? In terms of like your own story and all that kind of stuff, what piece of advice would you give them to be able to go full time?
For that, I would say create content that you love, but also make sure it's high quality as well because look, the bar is set so high these days, you just have to stand out somehow. And there needs to be a reason as to why you're creating this content. Are you creating this content because like you want to help others out, or you just want to make like content and want people to tell you how pretty you are? I don't know, like whatever it is, you need to think about what people are getting out of your content. Because from what I'm seeing is a lot of people just posting what's on trend. Sure, that's going to help you grow short term, but long term, is this something you can see yourself doing for like 5 years? If not, then maybe I would change your content to something else. Like look, it doesn't have to be travel. It could be just something else. Like, you know, there's like you can do photography, for example. Like
Yeah, I think as you've proven, it can be
dog
completely
accounts, like,
different. Yeah.
dog accounts. I don't know, just
Yeah,
like make your dog famous. Like, I don't know. There's so many things you can do, but you really have to make sure that you're doing what you're doing because you want to. Make the content that you love, that you want to make, that you're passionate about. Don't make content because someone else is saying, oh, I want to see this from you. I mean, of course, if they're giving you advice or tips on what they want to see, sure. But yeah, just be yourself. I know this sounds a bit, you know, critical because I'm not myself online, but like
Previously.
yeah, but like,
It
you
was
know,
a journey.
yeah, but also just do what you want to do. Make sure it's high quality. Make sure there's value added to it, and also have a long-term goal with that. And also I just want to say that if you're not making enough on Instagram, whatever, you can always do something else on the side. Don't just stick to one thing because that's dangerous. What if you get
Very, very wise words indeed.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Kim
Thank
Dao. Where can people find you?
On Kim Dao blog. I don't blog anymore, on Instagram. Also, I have a YouTube channel, just Kim Dao. And I have Kim Dao vlog for the everyday lifestyle videos, and Kim Dao game. If you play Genshin Impact, please watch my videos with the ads in it.
Click on them too.
Yes,
You
click
get
on
some
them
money.
too. Thank you. What else? That's it, right? Oh, I have a TikTok. I don't use it. I think it's Kim Dao blog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kim Dao everywhere.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm too old for TikTok. I upload on there, but I don't ever use it. But yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed that episode, then tap over here for another one that I think you really might enjoy. And if you want to support the channel, remember to like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. See you in the next one.